Hey everybody, Kyle here, and I just wanted to go ahead and just give a huge thank you to you guys for being patient as we have had some technical issues, and we are now going to get back on track on posting podcast episodes, which we are going to go ahead and limit down to once a week. That way we don't run into this issue again, which will be Friday at 11 a.m. I also want to give a shout out to our patrons. They are currently on the screen. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and jump over to our page and check out the tiers that we have. We have $1 and $5 tiers. Enjoy the episode. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Kyle Wright 425 podcast. If you are not following us on Spotify, we highly suggest that you do that. And also, if you are not subscribed to us on YouTube yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell as well. Definitely. And if you would like to support the show, you can support us on Patreon, Anchor, and just watching us. Any form of support we appreciate. We just want to make sure you know all your options and how you can find all of the entertainment that we dish out twice a week, every week.
Yep.
We do this, and it's consistent. We have been very, very loyal.
Yeah,
and it's been a lot of fun. So it's been cool.
Yeah, we have.
I think I checked the other day that this is probably going to be episode 28. We've done 28 episodes so far. So,
okay, that's a lot. That's a lot already.
Along with that, I got permission to do this. What I'm about to share with you, and
she's about to jump up there. I can already tell you that.
Don't jump it there.
She's gonna ruin your moment.
No. We ain't having no moments ruined around here. No. So, when I got home today, I got this stuff set up and I sat down on the couch. Both the pit bulls jumped on my lap and they both just laid on me. I actually posted it on my Instagram. It was like a moment. I was like, holy crap. Like I've never seen them both do that. So I was pretty much committed to, being there for a little while. And I was fine with that because I was pretty whooped. I've been mentally drained from, waiting for The Last of Us, which comes out tomorrow. And, I've just kind of just had like a me moment, just kind of sat there and just, chilled out. And I got a message on Instagram. Didn't recognize it. I'm going to call this woman Carly. This is what we're going to call her. I told her I would keep her anonymous because I don't want people like trying to find her or anything like that. Just to keep everything ship shape. So
right.
Hey, no. I'll put you upstairs. Don't you do that. So this was the message that I got. I do not know this person. I'm pretty sure you do not know this person. This is some random person that's a fan of what we do. And I don't know if they are a new fan or if this is, something that they've been, consistent throughout all of them. But this is what was sent to me. Eric has no idea what this is. This is literally the first time he's ever heard this. So I wanted to surprise you with this. So Carly says, hey, so I'm 2/3 of the way through the Sharks podcast on Spotify. I had to stop because life, but I wanted to send you a message. The first of your podcasts that I listened to was the one on depression. I really enjoyed it. You guys are awesome, and it's nice to hear other people talk about what they've felt, especially when it's similar to my own experience. And it's important because depression and anxiety convince you that you are alone. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I was struck by what you said about reacting in a crisis, and I wanted to commend you. It's a hard thing to do, and for me, it's something I learned from some unfortunate experience. But it is an invaluable tool. Then she says, I've lost my train of thought, LOL, doesn't matter. You guys are cool. I love listening to your podcast. I love that you're both very open and honest and not afraid to dig deep. Thank you.
I think I know who it is.
Okay.
And
which I'll share with you after we're done. But yeah,
if it is, I'm gonna have to apologize because I haven't been like keeping in touch. But same thing, life. It just
right.
There's been some things going on, and I haven't kept up with a lot of like social media and things like that as far as other than like a little bit of Facebook, but. That being said, regardless of who it was, but like I said, I'm almost 100% sure I know who it is. Because we talked a little bit about it, about me and said person, and
I can. I'm not trying to burst anything, but I can promise you, it's not that person.
It's not.
It's not that. This genuinely is a fan that found us through the Depression podcast. I guess. So now that I've read that again, so yeah, this is an actual fan.
Okay,
so
well,
not to steal your thunder. I just wanted to be clear. Like it's not
okay.
it's not that person.
Okay,
so.
well, either way, they both then were pretty much saying like the same thing.
Yeah,
and I think that's a lot of people's thing is that they are again they're afraid to talk about it, or they feel like they're the only one, or like so that's really cool. So I'm glad that this person reached out and gave you a message on Instagram. You said
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Kyle Wright 425. It's the same thing as YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. That's where all my stuff is.
I thought about making maybe like an Instagram or like Twitter for us.
Yeah.
Just to
it's actually we do have a Twitter, but it's just it's not the podcast, it's just Kyle Wright 425. But I mean, if we have one that's oriented straight towards the podcast, and
that's what I was saying is like maybe do something like that for it, because again, as much as people probably hear and or see now that it is just me and you, but again, I don't want people like this is your channel, so like
right.
It is one of those things where it might not always be just me and you. I might not be here on certain ones because, of maybe you want to have a couple different guests.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the beauty about this is that this podcast can be whatever we want it to be. That's why, obviously I'm excited to do it just because it's a topic that I'm passionate about. But, when I pitched to you and I was like, hey, when I finish The Last of Us Part 2, I would love to do a full podcast, just a spoiler podcast. We can talk about all the things we liked, all the things that we hated, like all that stuff. So the show can really be whatever we want. And that's what's so cool about it. Now that we have the video and stuff, I mean, you twisted my arm, and was like, hey, we need to do this. And I resisted it. Now I'm happy that we're doing it, So
well,
it's like,
that was a big miscommunication as well. And how that worked, but
right. But it was just that I didn't think that, I mean, it's so funny now that I'm bringing it out, into the open, but it's like, I didn't think that putting this much effort would actually return that much. And what I'm getting at with that message is that just made my entire YouTube journey like worth it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a guy that wants credit. I don't want to be coming off like an Onision or something where it's just like, see all the people I've helped, it's like, that is a very, very, very dangerous, prideful place to be. And I'm not there. But what I will say is that we talked about some really, really heavy stuff on the Depression podcast. Mm-hmm. And looking back, I'm shocked that we got through it as well as we did. We just opened ourselves up. Yeah. We're like, look, this is what it's like to live day to day as us. One's worse, one isn't, one is worse. Sometimes one's isn't, it's never a consistent thing.
It's not. And when you open up about something like that publicly, because the internet is, forever.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically speaking, that's out there in the world forever.
Yeah.
And just because it might only have, 60 views or whatever on YouTube, and,
I actually haven't even checked it. I'm not even sure how much is even on.
I haven't either. But again, just because it's
not, piqued my curiosity. So
just because it's not a huge number now, it doesn't mean down the road. And that has nothing to do even with, like you said, this is not because we're trying to be
58 views.
Oh, that was close.
Not bad.
Famous or anything. This is just fun. You bought this stuff for fun. This is something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else. So, as far as that goes, you don't really need to invest anymore. This is just your hobby.
Yeah. And because even tonight when you came home, everything was all set up. We've got a system now. So it's not always so crazy different every time. And it's good, man. It's been consistent, but nevertheless, sorry, Bob, I didn't mean to scare you. So I clapped and Thor was like, what was that? No, but, I wanted to start off the podcast with that because it's kind of like how my boss has always said it to me, is that he's like, look, you can do a good job, for years, but if no one ever tells you that you're doing a good job, sometimes it can make your job a lot harder.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, cause like there was a day that we were about to record, and I had already set everything up, and I just looked at you and I'm like, I don't want to do this today. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I
did.
But
which one was it?
I honestly can't remember. It may have been Sharks, actually. I think it was either Sharks or it was Space. I think it was Space.
Yeah, it was one of those two. I think you're right.
No, but it just relates back to that Mr. Feeney thing, where it's like, you know, a professional is not somebody who's done 10,000 hours of a particular thing. It's a professional is someone who does their job even when they don't want to. Mm-hmm. It's like when you are having trouble at home and you still go up on stage and be funny. When you're, you know, like I think it was
hard.
my problem at that point was like my negative bank account. Like I was so defeated, like, you know, because a bill had come out when I didn't want it to, and that really, really fucking pissed me off. And
definitely.
I'm like, I don't want to go and do something that I have to be positive about.
Yeah, you wanted to just sulk.
Yeah, well, honestly, I think I just wanted to go to sleep. I was just so upset. So you know, but I would sulk, man, to go to sleep. You know,
yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely.
But,
That's how that works. So
yeah,
so like you said, I'm glad that the somebody, you know, reached out at least and let us know, because that's great, and I'm glad that it was one that was little more significant, I guess. Yeah. You know, so it wasn't, regardless of which one it was, that's still cool. But the fact that it was, you know, the depression one is kind of interesting. So,
right. Well, but we do have a purpose of this one tonight. So this
I'm
one,
not gonna lie, I didn't give this one a lot of thought.
I mean, I think that we're
gonna wing it.
We're gonna wing it. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, have you ever wondered what the past tense is for wing? So we just winged it. Wung it. What's the past tense for wing?
Winged.
No, it is not wang.
We wanged it.
Yeah, wanged it. So we're gonna do an episode on English.
So we're gonna wing it.
So essentially, what tonight is that you had pitched this at one point. I don't know if it was on the podcast or if it was just, you know,
it was. I believe it was like the first one, the villains.
Yes,
I think it was.
We talked about the idea of doing desert island topic, and what that means is that.
So our desert island is a little different than probably some people think.
Yes. So usually what it is that it's like, okay, you know, like if someone's talking about like their favorite film and they're like, dude, like this is a film I could take onto a desert island with me, and if I had a way to watch it, I would never get sick of it.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of thing. So in this universe, if you will, or this dimension of things, it's essentially food and your room and board and everything is all taken care of. Mm-hmm. You are able to live and sustain life for yourself on this desert island.
You just are moving to an island.
Yes.
Basically.
So if you're moving to an island, and if you know, obviously you would take more than 5 things, but we wanted to just, in no particular order, talk about 5 things and why we would take them, and then see where the conversation goes. So
yeah, we're going to have to tread a little lightly on this one.
Okay.
On one of mine, just because I know it's going to be a topic that you're not going to want to talk about too much, but it is something I would definitely take with me.
I figured it would probably come up, but I mean, in the same hand,
again, we will tread very lightly.
Honestly, you're very respectable about that, you know. So I mean, it's
right.
It's you know, not something that's.
But I'm going to be honest. So
right. So
well, all right. So now again,
we'll just make it deep into the podcast. It'll be fine.
That's fine.
So.
Now here's the thing: is that again, let's clarify. So this is not top 5.
No. This is
just 5 things that really maybe stuck out to us.
Yeah, and it's
okay.
So it's essentially kind of like how Paul Zigo does. Like for instance, he did a video on movies that scared him. And so he didn't do the scariest movies. It was just, these are 5 movies that very, very, very much unsettled him. And I love the way that he does stuff on Cinema for Cynics, because it's just, he's like, here they are in no particular order. This is the first one. Mm-hmm. And so it's just that idea of that you don't get caught in the trope of like, oh man, like this is your number 1. That's pathetic. It's like, well, number 1, it's number 1 for me. So I don't care what you think.
Right.
But in the same hand, this is the idea of that we just like, it's just like, we just want to be able to have a fluid conversation and just geek out about stuff, and, you know, maybe get into some arguments or like, well, like whatever, like we'll,
sure.
see, we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
So I'll start us off. And without a doubt, one of the things that I would want for sure to make sure that my hut or my cabin, or maybe my mansion. Like I don't know what would be there. That's not important. That I absolutely would not go to a desert island without my LED lights.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
They have fundamentally changed my evenings, especially sleeping.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And just, I mean, everything with it. And that's something that I learned from my friend TJ. He struggles with insomnia a lot. And I mean, as do I. And I don't want to take, anything that I can get, dependent on or anything like that. Like that was kind of like, something that I was like, oh, I don't want pills, it's like, but in the same hand, it's, it's for the purpose of sleeping, that's never been something that's ever appealed to me. Now there's a whole different conversation about medication. I'm not getting into that side of things, but it's with that. And, what he suggested was that he's like, have you ever tried to sleep with blue lights? And I said, no. I'm like, what does it do? And he's like, well, remember in school when we learned about the different colors, like, why different, advertisers use different colors, like certain colors make you hungry, certain colors make you relax. And, it's all that. So, I took a whim took a chance on a whim, and I went out and bought these lights, and I've had some of the best sleep that I've had in years. Switching to blue lights. It is a calming color. If you get into spirituality, it's a very good healing color. Mm-hmm. It's just
that definitely does take an effect on how you sleep, man.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Visual great. Or like sound.
Yeah. Especially too. I mean, it's ironic because I made a big stink about not liking space, but I've been a little more open, like watching, some space videos to fall asleep to, like that. Like atmospheric, like that kind of like, crazy, like 432 hertz or whatever it is that it processes. But I really, really wanted to sit down and think about it, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm like, I had to think about my sleeping, and I'm like, well, I have to sleep, and make sure that's going to work. And on top of that too, I'll go ahead and get the sounds of the ocean on top of everything else. So
that's where I actually thought about that for the little bit of this that I did like think about was I don't know that I would need some of the stuff I sometimes need to use for sleep that are not medication. They're more sound based.
Yeah.
Because I figure if we're on a desert island, I'm going to have those calmings, like the sound. So yours is more of like a visual.
Yeah.
Mine's more sound.
I'm curious. Have you ever slept like near a beach? Like maybe like you were camping or anything like that? Because I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
I've been like to a beach at night, like I've been like, to that kind of thing, but I've never properly soaked it in.
Yeah. A couple times, in my older, like I guess teenage life, but yeah, I mean, nothing like, well, no, when we went to Florida, where were we?
Oh, that was so long ago. I couldn't even tell you.
Right. But see, you were young. I was like 16. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to remember. Did we end up sleeping off of a beach? I thought we did at one point. And I know like in Maine, we had that big,
oh God, Maine. Yeah. That was always a fun trip.
Yeah. But we had that cabin that was right there, like on the water too.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that wasn't necessarily like a beach, but it was like a giant, like lake, like a huge lake. But that I don't know that really made a whole lot of noise, but still.
Plus, I wouldn't sleep with my windows open in Maine anyway because it's a setting of all of Stephen King's novels. So it's just not happening.
Right.
Apparently, maybe fictional, but where do you think he gets all that inspiration?
Cocaine.
He used to.
Doesn't matter. It's all ruined.
That's why they said that it was. It's funny. The book, Stephen King's It, rather. It's just like, what was it? Bill Hader said the sequel to It is going to be called It's. Apostrophe, yes. But no, it's like that that's one of the reasons why it was like 1,500 pages or whatever, because he just kept doing blow and just kept, writing, like he just wouldn't stop. Like, it's just like,
that must have been some really good blow. That movie was fucking awesome.
Oh, the book,
well,
bro.
The book. Yeah, the book.
Yeah, I mean, and all the content that's come out of that has been fantastic. Fight me. Now, because there are some people that don't like the new It, and they're wrong. So,
100%
wrong. We've officially pissed off like 20% of our audience if they're listening. So
don't care.
I love it. Hey, man. Freedom of speech. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm going to talk
You already
about
made
movies.
it this far in.
You are officially 22 minutes in. If you are here, thank you. If not, then I guess it doesn't matter because you're not here. But yeah, so that's
Exactly.
that was me knocking down all the dominoes. No, just the LED lights without a doubt.
Okay.
I wouldn't have to go so fancy, you know, as far as like the lasers and, you know, the different stuff I've got down here. But
Definitely just the lights, right?
yeah, just being able to change the tone at any point, because even, you know, it's served a purpose now for like the podcast too. You know, it's like changing the lighting and stuff, you know, for every, you know, time we take a break and stuff. Like it's helped me, you know, not only to sleep, but also to like, you know, get creative and, you know, realize that I can make this basement look like whatever I want. There's white lights on there. There's orange lights. It's all that. And it's just, you know, Minx was very much a huge influence on me because he has a very similar setup in his studio, you know, with how he has everything with the LED lights. And first time I took a picture of it, he messaged me and was like, gee, wonder where you got that inspiration, huh? So I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, I want to be just like your basement, man. So, or I want my basement to be like your basement. But so yeah, that's a definite one for me. Set the mood. If I'm going to be out there, if I'm going to be away from everything, that's a little piece of land that I want to bring.
Okay.
It's, you know, that's something that is very tangible. It's something that washes a room with light. It's not a, you know, a watch, or it's not a, you know, it's, I really, I like when the things that I have do a lot with very little. And that's something that's, you know, I pride myself on, like with like some of the stuff that I own. So yeah, LED lights are definitely a for sure, without a doubt.
That's good. That's a good choice as far as, you know, just one of your kind of like random 5, you know, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, because I would imagine desert island means like we're alone.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're by ourselves.
So,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I mean, because I did go with Willow at first, but then I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, if this is already a perfect situation, she would already be there. You know, it's or like Piper or whatever. So like that's kind of how I viewed that. But in the same hand, I mean,
you're talking like things.
Yeah, like tangible things that you can do things with, like as far as like, you know, if it's a, you know, like a pencil, it writes. You know, it's that type of deal. You know.
Now, I guess, I mean, I don't know if this is, I'm considering it one, but like I would say like obviously like my collection of top favorite movies, which would be, you know, obviously The Breakfast Club is going to be in there.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
I'll watch that movie over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And
Mr. John Bender.
Yeah. You know, but there's other movies that would be in that. I would say if I were to do that, I would say maybe about 5 movies should be fair. Same with some other things I might do, but yeah, definitely it would be that. That's a one that always sticks out, is I would take The Breakfast Club. That is a movie. There's several things in my childhood that I don't want to say currently working on, but would one day love to have like real memorabilia or like maybe an autographed poster of something, and one of them is The Breakfast Club. So
you really want to go full LA Beast, like all the memorabilia, like the stuff that he has. Like, if you guys are not subscribed to the LA Beast,
man, he's awesome.
It's what was it? I think it was like last month I introduced you to him, and you're like, dude, this guy's amazing.
Well, no, it's been a little longer than that, but we really started watching a lot more of them.
Yeah,
but no, and cool. I don't know that I would go as bonkers as him, but definitely a few things. And also, you know, Jim Carrey, you know, that is something again, whether it's a poster or, you know, even if it's just a headshot, like it's just something of that where, you know, memorabilia has nothing to do with trying to flip it and sell it. Like that is like a personal, like I want that for myself. And yeah, but that is definitely a movie I would watch all the time. I think with one of the things I get into later, it will play into that.
Yeah, I can see
but
that.
It's just, I don't know. There are certain things in my life that when I would watch that movie on a desert island, it would just you know, you kind of think about that, or like the age you were when you first saw it, or,
Yeah.
you know, your favorite parts, and remember discussing it with your friends and all this stuff. So it's not only that you can watch it over and over again, but those things hold like memories to it. So I don't know. That's one that always really stuck out to me. I would always, and I don't know if I would do it on VHS or like DVD.
Oh man, VHS would be great, but the thing is that would wear out.
It would. But see, in a hypothetical perfect world, none of these things would like
Matter.
it would never not exist.
Oh, okay, it's true.
You know, like say you're like, oh, this pencil. Well, the pencil would like, you know, theoretically it would never not have lead.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
What about you?
this one's kind of obvious in a way, but my acoustic guitar.
Your acoustic.
My acoustic. I would probably transition to being an acoustic player, and that's something that I would do every day. Like I'm talking like it's like I'm on a desert island, I'm not doing shit. So it's like I would
Right, but you wouldn't want to melt some faces every once in a while, and
there's something about
yeah, you'll get angry and want to do that.
well, right. There's if you're a guitarist, you'll get this. But there is something so rewarding about when you play an acoustic guitar. It is completely dependent upon you. You don't have, I mean, unless if you're through a PA system, and if you like, you know, if you have your board, or if you have, you know, like all your effect pedals, like however you want to do it. But if you're just playing a dry acoustic guitar, you can't hide. You can't,
Makes sense.
You have to, without a doubt, be good at what you do. And that's something that I would take it with me, and I would have a mount for it, just like I have for my guitars. I would, you know, that to me, I feel like that comes with it. But it would be somewhere that it's always accessible. It's never a burden to get out. And it would be literally my salvation being there. Like that would be the biggest thing for me. Because I thought about this. I thought about bringing a camera. I thought about all that stuff, but I'm like, if I'm on a desert island,
What do you need it for?
right? It's like, you know, because it's like I love filmmaking, but at that point, it's like no, like
It's
at
not
that
gonna
point,
be for
I'm
anybody.
checking out.
Yeah.
It's now Kyle time, and I'm gonna go do whatever I want.
Forever.
No, but I don't know. It's something so simple, and something that, you know, you can do a lot with if you do it right. And I would play probably somewhere close to probably about 6 hours a day. I would just,
what else you got to do?
yeah, you know, like I would just sit out, you know, I sit on my front porch if I have one. If not, I'll sit on the sand.
Perfect world, man. It'll be the little shack or whatever it is you want. Like
Big ass porch.
it'll be all porch, one room.
Right. And that would be so much fun. I absolutely would love to sit on a desert island one day and just play my acoustic. That's probably a bucket list for me. Like that would be a lot of fun, which means I would have to go across the ocean or whatever to get to one. So
Yeah, which you don't. Well, no, I mean, well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to really land.
I'll take an awesome guy take me out there in a helicopter. I'd much rather do that, as long as the helicopter doesn't crash, because then I'm really screwed, because that's not made for water. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
You would have to cross the ocean.
I'll just wait 20 years until Seth Brundle makes teleportation, and we'll be fine. So, that's a fly joke. Made famous by Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
So,
Great movie.
we're going to go ahead and take a small break.
Okay.
We didn't take a break last time, so I want to go ahead and
Well, yeah, we
do that.
definitely do that, but that was a different reason.
Yeah, so that's and sometimes like that's just gonna happen. We're just gonna, you know, keep going and be like, no, like we're in a good vibe right now. Let's just keep going with that. So, but nevertheless, though, so you guys go ahead and enjoy this ad, And we are going to go ahead and take 5 and regroup and come back and finish the list of what we would take on a desert island.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy the ad. Oh, horse shit. And we are back. I'll decide on whether or not I'm going to keep that sound effect or not. But now that I've mentioned it, I'll probably keep it. So, desert island.
Desert Island.
Desert Island. So, let's say I talked about LED lights. I talked about what was the other one I talked about?
It was LED
Just left me. Totally left me. Hold on. Okay, so acoustic guitar. That was the other
That's
one.
right.
So
Mine was the yours was you did your second one. I only did one.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did. Okay, no, please go ahead. Your
Yeah,
second
no,
one.
that's
Please.
what I'm saying. So I don't remember. We always do this. We always forget to
We're like, oh, we'll be fine, and then
Yeah.
it starts up. So this is, hey, once again, if you've made it this far into the podcast, we appreciate it. And then, we'll
Well,
just-
we had some
No.
we had some difficulties. Break was a little longer than usual too.
yeah, no
but
problem.
yeah.
No problem at all.
So I guess just screw it. We'll just start where we were going to start then. So I guess number 2, right?
Yes.
For me. Well, I would definitely take smokables.
Yes. Yeah.
Seeds.
I expected. I mean,
Yeah.
if it didn't end up in your 5, it had to be a part of like the 100 of things
Yeah.
that you would take or whichever. But
Oh, definitely in the 5. I would take like a duffel bag. Now, no, like half of just seeds.
oh, I see what you're saying. See, well, because I kind of look at it in the same way of like the movie Limitless.
Okay.
Where it's
I've only
like,
ever seen it once.
oh my god, it's so good. It's actually the other desert island thing, but this
Really?
but this fits with that mentality. Is that what kind of drove me nuts about that was that Bradley Cooper's character is literally somebody at that moment who has a 4-digit IQ. And it's like he doesn't think about the idea of, hey, maybe I should make more of these pills. That way I can keep, being this smart.
Yeah.
So it's like he didn't start doing that until like near the end of the movie. So that kind of rubbed me wrong the first time I watched it. I was like, bro, like if like I don't have a 4-digit IQ, and I'm like, you better be making more. You're gonna run out. But no, man, totally. Like that's I get it, man. It's like being able to just make sure you can. You should do that with anything. It's like you don't want something you enjoy to be finite.
Yeah, and the reason being is that one, I'm sure I know that we've touched on this before, is that I do use it as like a medicine as well. Like it does help me sleep. It helps with certain other things as well. But
Yeah.
also in the fact, if I'm going to be on a desert island,
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to relax. I'm going to
You were literally out in nature.
Yeah. I think alcohol is overrated when it comes to things like that, because I don't know. I know this sounds stupid, but like I want to remember it.
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah.
I'll get blackout, shit faced drunk, and you don't remember. Well, actually, I really don't. But I'm just saying, like you can,
Right.
And then that's it. You don't remember nothing. So
Yeah.
for the people that like when you go out and party, when you're like on vacation and stuff like that, I don't know. To me, there's like a certain limit, because you want to remember the time you had. You don't want to be like the hangover. And
Yeah. It's
so when I say that, that's another reason as well, is that yes, while obviously having some alcohol on a desert island, I mean, still just taking it, yes, but
I'll shamelessly drink a Corona. I don't care about the state of things, so.
But I feel like the difference is the scenery for me, is that is just such a calming area.
So
And the visual.
being out in nature in that state really does amplify it.
I feel like yes, because one because I look at it this way: I'm on a desert island that I know that I am okay. There's nothing around me. Like, I know this sounds dumb, but like bear's not going to attack me, or a cheetah, or
Smokey the Bear is a lot more intense in person.
Yeah, so it's not like you're smoking down and going on a camping trip in the wilderness. Like, again, you're just you're enjoying nature in a way, and I think that would be one of the most peaceful things ever. You know, you can seeing the sunset and the sunrise over the water, and the sounds and everything, the smells.
Right.
That's got to be one of the most peaceful things in itself. But then throwing that on top of it, I feel like is a must almost for anybody that does what I do.
Yeah.
Even for just fun.
So it's interesting because you've talked about,
But I mean, again, the sleep I would get would be amazing.
it's
amazing.
Just the ocean alone is something that will lull you to sleep. And like this goes back into like the psyche of like, you know, human beings, and like, you know, there's the primal like instinct, if you want to believe in, you know, the idea of like evolution and everything, is that it's like you have things that are encoded in you that we completely do the opposite of. Like, think about it. Humans used to sleep outside. They used to, you know, sleep in, you know, areas where like, you know, it wasn't temperature controlled. It was, you know, all these different things. But most importantly is that we are away from a lot of the, this is going to sound funny, but a lot of away from like the natural nature that, you know, would lull people to sleep or would comfort them or, you know, would set the tone, if you will.
Yeah. I feel like when I think of like a desert island, as far as like with having everything I needed as far as all my comforts, I know this sounds silly, but like Castaway, but with all the luxuries.
Yeah.
That
was a good island.
It was. And when you're saying, sitting there saying, you know, about the, you know, back in nature before all, you know, everything took over, like that is true. And that's how, I don't want to say just on islands, but in general, that's how people did live. You're right. So that's what I mean. Like, think of all that scenery, like how beautiful that was.
Yeah.
He was stuck there with like literally nothing. Going there on purpose is a different story.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So that's what I mean, as far as like you're going there to enjoy and indulge. And I feel like just that, you know, that especially with some of the things that you would have, like, you know, even the movies and stuff that I would take again, that would just make everything that much better. And I don't know. I'd rather do that than drink over there. I don't know. I think I'd have that over my Corona. But
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll stick with my Yingling, and you know.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you know,
but that's what I mean. That's me.
In the same hand, like it's like I don't like being drunk anyway. Like it's like I think I can count on one hand the amount of times that I have been plastered. And, like, and it's, you know, it's like in the entirety of my life, and I have not liked any of the situations I was in. I have not liked how I felt at that time, and I did not like how I felt the way when I woke up the next morning.
Yeah, because you were a little bit of a late bloomer when it came to like drinking, and I've always noticed that about you. That now, the older you got, you got a little more loose with it, but yeah, you are not like it's the weekend, I'm smashing a 12-pack, I'm doing that like.
Well, there was the one time that I got the look from both of you guys where like, cause I bought 3 tall boys and I don't know. I think
we all have our days.
Well, right. Cause I think it was a Friday, but the thing is that I didn't even remember drinking the one. We were just hanging out. Like I was watching TV upstairs and everything. And I was just, you know, sucking them down. And I remember thinking like, I think it was like 11 o'clock.
We were watching American Horror Story, weren't we?
Yes. Yeah. That's what it was.
We were doing.
Coven. We were watching Coven.
Yeah.
And which if you've not seen any of the American Horror Stories, you are missing out. You've got to see them.
I've watched them all. They're amazing.
They're so good. But I can go on a whole tangent about that. But no, it was just at one point, I think it was Christy. She's like, isn't that like, did you have 3 of them? And I went,
I remember, yeah, because I said, no, he only drank 2. And you're like, no, I had one before you got home. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's just, dude, I slept really good that night. That was
yeah, but no, that's what I mean is that you do have moments, but no, you are not a partier. You're not, you were not one to just go to the bars on the weekends and hang out with friends. And
I went to our local town bar to do karaoke. That was the main reason.
You might have had a beer or something, but but that's what I mean is that you're right. Like So with you having your Coronas and Yinglings on the beach, that would be different.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
That's the difference of somebody being like, yeah, I want to get smashed. You know, why is all the rum gone? Like,
right. Well, honestly, it's like with alcohol. I mean, this isn't part of my list, but like I would probably want to get Wolf Creek Winery whiskey and bourbon, and like that would be my drink to like end the night.
Yeah, sip it at the end of
and with a good cigar, you just sit on the beach and
man.
just my god, we need to get some good cigars soon and do that. That'd be fun.
And that's
not do that, but like just sit outside and have some cigars.
I feel like sometimes people would take this whole desert island thing and almost forget about the scenery around them. I know that sounds stupid, but when you think about it, they're like, oh, well, I make sure I have my cabins there and on my toilet and all that. Like, so that's all there. Like, they're not even worried about everything around them. They're more worried about everything that they can still do there.
Yeah. And it's, do me a favor, actually bring up your mic a little bit.
And I don't know, like,
there you go. Perfect.
When I sit there and think about it, it's the scenery for me more than anything. That is, I'm going to want to pretty much be more outside than anything.
Yeah.
And that might get old after a while. I don't know. That's never going to happen. I don't think.
Hey, you never know. Yeah, we could get marooned on an island. I mean, who knows?
That is true. But I'm just saying, in that scenario, I don't think I would really ever get sick of like the scenery ever.
No, I think that you would. You'd probably find a way to keep it fresh every day, where it's just like, you know what, I'm going to watch the sunset from this side of the island.
Yeah.
Or today I'm going to watch the sun rise from this side of the island, or, you know, something like that. Like, you find different ways to keep yourself freshened up, you know, in a way, like, you know, because when your day becomes monotonous and it is the same, it is repetitive. Like, it's, you know, it's like that 9 Inch Nails song. It's like, you know, every day is exactly the same. It's like you get so lost into, you know, your daily life that before you know it, 10 years have gone by. You know, and it's you know, it's that mentality of that. So it's like I try to be conscious of that just in my day-to-day life, but imagine being on just an island. And it's like, what would you do to remedy that kind of thing? It's like a rhetorical question, but
no, because that's the thing is that could get depressing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where a lot of times people would just get in their heads, and then that's where it becomes such a like where people like start going insane, I guess.
Yeah. It's
so with having stuff that you could physically choose to be there to help with that is different. And I don't know, again, you're right. If you could like do something every day that was like, even though that's the same, but a little bit different, that would definitely help with, you know, breaking up the monotony. But still, man, I don't know. I would still be thankful every night for that beach and the temperature. Like, we're talking, it's going to be perfect temperature pretty much all the time, and shade in perfect areas. Like, this is a complete hypothetical scenario. It's going to be perfect.
Make sure so no hurricanes, no nothing like that. This is just.
I didn't say Mother Nature wasn't going to have its, you know, have its time, but yeah.
So I mentioned Limitless as a movie that I would bring. It wouldn't be the only movie I would bring, but it would be a main thing, because when I watch Limitless, it inspires me every time. It makes me creative. It makes me want to do shit. It makes me want to try new things. It makes me want to like be adventurous. Like that's essentially what it does. And I felt like that would be it's kind of a surface level thing. There's not a lot to it. But can go into the fact that it's like it's Robert De Niro, it's Bradley Cooper, it's you know,
it was a big movie.
There's just nothing bad about that movie. Like it is just, everything is good, and it's a movie that I never get sick of. It's a movie I love. I think I mentioned it before. I watched it every day on repeat for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. That was in one of the first podcasts.
that was man.
So
it was crazy.
When it comes to like entertainment, is it always going to be like a movie like Limitless for you? Because like, I mean, if we went through a couple of the movies that we might take, The Breakfast Club is kind of like a drama comedy, but like I would definitely do more than just, you know, comedies and stuff. I think I'd want a little bit of everything. I want a good horror movie. You know,
Yeah,
I want a
it's-
good, you know.
The way I kind of looked at this at first was that I limited myself, where I was like, okay, if I had to only pick one thing, I'm like, just at
one?
first, like
Yeah.
that's what I did at first. But then I remembered it's like, this is a perfect situation, but I wanted to challenge myself to see what I would do. And entertainment wise, the only other thing I think that's on my list that would be entertainment wise, unless if I correct myself and find it later, but I tried to think about if I was going to bring a video game, what would I bring? And I was like, only one.
Oh,
And now let's be fair that Doom Eternal is not the one, but I would still bring it. Infamous Second Son is not the one, but I would still bring it. I had to think really, really long and hard about it. And quite honestly, it was between two. One of which is actually a PlayStation 1 game. And the other one is a PS3 game. Now, the PS3 game is going to be very, very obvious because, everything that's happening tomorrow, which is The Last of Us. But my PS1 game is Metal Gear Solid.
okay.
That is a game that even after the hundreds of times I've played it, I have still found something new. Like it's just, there's so much to unpack and there's so many options you can do. And like, it's a digital, or it's no, pixelated. That's what I meant. Pixelated, PS1 game that was so revolutionary. And it's like not even just in the CG, but also just in the performance, like in with like how all the characters are so thick and just layered. Like there's so much to it, but in the same hand again too, it's like, man, like I like The Last of Us is something that you talked about The Breakfast Club and like where you I'm sure you remember where you were the first time you ever watched The Breakfast Club. Like, or like, it's in like the memories that surround that. And I'm assuming it was a very good memory, like of you doing it. And there was a few moments out of when I was playing the campaign of Last of Us, and there's 2 or 3 scenes I consistently come back to. I'm not joking with this, and this is why this has been such a hard week for me emotionally, like waiting for tomorrow, is I watch those scenes every day on my own, on my phone, whether it's early in the morning, if it's at work. Sometimes I'll flavor it up and watch people react to those things.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's nice to know that I wasn't the only one that reacted that way.
Yeah.
And
I'm the same way with certain things.
yeah, so, but I don't want to go too much on that, but it's, or any further rather, but it's just, I really had to think about that where it's like, man, like what would I take? Like, what would I do? And like, I did not want to say The Last of Us because I've been talking about the second one for the past like 6 months, but I really, really had to think about that. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I've never in my life played a game 30 times except for that. I never in my life have beaten a game on every difficulty within those 30 times. I've done that
with that one.
On top of finding all the collectibles and getting all the optional conversations and getting Ellie to tell every single joke that she has, to kill all the infected in the very, very last subway. And if you do, Joel finally says the line that Ellie's been quoting through the whole game that annoyed him, which is endure and survive. It's the full line is to the edge of the universe and back, endure and survive. And if you kill all the infected in the final tunnel, Joel kind of laughs and he just goes, yeah, endure and survive. So it's like, I did it on grounded mode, which means no HUD. It's the hardest difficulty, 2 hits, you're dead. Like, it's like, I was so determined. So all that being said, not to stroke my, Last of Us dick, but it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, like that's like, I couldn't think of a game that was bigger than that for me.
See,
but except for Metal Gear Solid, that was like what started it for me, like with gaming, was taking it seriously. But anyway, yeah.
See, like mine was like, I actually did say the PS4.
Okay.
Now, so like, that's why I was just saying it with you because, we're pretty much on the same topic.
Right.
But I I kind of cheated when it came to games, I guess, because I basically just said the PS4 and what I have now. And I don't have a ridiculous amount of games. So it's not like I have this vast collection.
Not a library, if you will.
Yeah. And pretty much all the games that I have, I mean, I don't know. I guess I should have thought about that more as far as like maybe a little bit of throwbacks, but I have the Mortal Kombats. I have, stuff like that. So, Spider-Man and things like that. It's stuff that's interesting and fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Doom.
Yeah.
Doom's a good one.
Doom Eternal is without it. And honestly, too, Doom 2016. It's I would take both. It would be kind of like that moment of, all right, can I challenge myself to downgrade? To go back to what, I still have not played Doom 2016 for two reasons. One, because Devin's been borrowing it because he wants to prep himself to play Doom Eternal down the road. But also, Doom Eternal is just so much better. It's it's the only sequel, disregarding depending on what happens tomorrow. Because I can't speak on it because I haven't played it, but it's the only sequel that, in my mind, I don't want to say it was perfect, but literally did everything better than the first.
Yeah.
So I take that back. Uncharted 2 and Doom Eternal. Those were the two that like made everything got better. And it's like, that doesn't happen.
I just think that with the games that I have now are, and Doom included, like you said, visually, a lot, pretty much every game that I have is visually like amazing to play and watch.
Right.
So I wouldn't know the advancement of anything else, so I wouldn't care.
True.
So it's not like, oh man, the PS12.
God, can you imagine if that? Oh my God.
So
everybody from the original Sony company will all then by that generation will be gone, and there'll be new. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just, and so wild to
that's
think
crazy.
of.
So that was 4 for me. That was 4 for both of us.
So make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row. So when it comes to music, I really had to think about, because I don't equate, funnily enough, I don't equate my acoustic guitar with music because that's me playing music.
That's different.
Not listening. And then that is something like you and I both are very much like music is like the core of our life. Like that is what drives us. And if I had to pick an album, it's between about 2 or 3. If I only had one thing to take with me, as I hit the mic, it would either be Slipknot's Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses, or it would be something to the effect of. I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this if the twins hear this. But I absolutely love Trap's album, Someone in Control. That is an album that I have listened to top to bottom many, many, many a times. Haven't even done that with Volume 3. I've done it with the album Someone in Control.
Okay.
People give Trap shit. I don't agree with what their lead singer did on Twitter. I think he's an idiot for doing that. With all the stuff that went on with him, arguing with fans and dude, you don't fight your fan base. That's not how you gain, any kind of reputability, in the music community. But there was just something about it. It was from the moment it started until the moment it ended. I felt like I was finally surrounded by the emotions that I had been wanting to feel for so long. And it's not something I can replicate. I can't even tell you what was happening in my life at that point. The album is about a breakup, but in the same hand, I wasn't going through a breakup at that point, but there was a lot.
You could still feel everything. You still had that emotion with it.
Yeah, it was even the artwork of the album is the lead singer in a hotel room where there's two beds. The one bed is completely like, pulled down and stuff, and he's wearing a suit where the jacket is laying on the bed with his tie loose, and he just has his head in his hands.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
So Someone in Control. That's what the album is called, and it's just so interesting. Like the way, like his voice is so different. Like when you hear Trapped, it's Trapped.
Yeah,
like it's like I love bands like that. So that already is like just a dead ringer for me. But it was really between those two, and it's because that Slipknot album has enough diversity on it that it kind of hits every funny bone that I have with music.
Yeah.
And Someone in Control gives me the emotions that I need to feel. So it's interesting. So
see mine. No, that makes sense. But like with mine, when it came to the music part, obviously, yes, it was going to be music. Again, perfect world, perfect, desert island thing. But I didn't have albums. I literally broke it down kind of in a sense, but I figured, okay, 3 albums, but not albums, just songs. Like if you were to burn or upload. So I figured that's about
like a mix. Yeah.
Like that's basically about 50 songs, 45 to 50 songs that I could go through, because to be completely honest with you, there is not really one album of any artist ever that I've enjoyed completely 100% front to back ever.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
There's always one stupid one.
I've got at least 10 or 15 that I've listened to. Yeah, it's
not even the King of Pop. No.
And you are a big MJ fan. A big man.
There's plenty of Michael Jackson songs I do not dig.
I'm gonna make that like a bucket list of mine is to find you an album that you're gonna be able to listen to the whole thing. It's like that, to me, that I love that kind of challenge.
See,
where it's like, what do you think you can find, man?
Yeah, well, yeah. Not only that, but like, see, that's the thing is that I've sat there and thought, like, honestly, I really don't. Not even Eminem. Eminem is that's what I mean. Like
even Curtain Call.
No, there was certain songs that were just like,
wow. Dude, I can't believe I just pulled that out of my memory because like it's been so long since I've even listened to that album. But like that's an album I could listen to top to bottom because it's
not that I don't.
I would have to be active while doing it, not just I don't just sit in a room and just listen to it. Where it's like now this is the time I listen to an entire album in one day and go.
Well, no, I don't either, but I do go through stuff. But there's been songs immediately on almost every album where I'm like, nope, don't like it. And that's the thing is that, and now later on, I do always, for the most part, give that song or whatever a chance. It's always that first hesitation. It does not grab me. It does not, anything. So I don't like it.
Right.
But no, not one artist, not one band, not one nothing. There's not one album front to back that I just enjoy. So that's where I said I would really sit down at that point and think about songs that I enjoyed growing up. Not even so much. There would be some new stuff, but really all of my stuff would be very mid to late 90s, early 2000s more than anything.
Right.
So,
which by the way, fantastic choice on era right there too.
Well, no, it is. And some of them, probably half of the stuff would have been like, top hits or something too. And that's when public music was really good.
Right.
I still really enjoyed my underground, rap and stuff, but mainstream stuff was actually good and like good quality. And you don't really get that anymore.
No.
So
it's very far and few between.
Yeah. And even with any genre. So that's where I'm not going to sit there and list all my songs. So I had to be a little vague with that.
No, especially with music too, is that it is so personal. It is that music is something that that nobody else understands except for you. And that's why I stand so strong on how Corey Taylor said it, where it was just like, it doesn't matter what you dig. If you dig it, dig what you dig. Like
Exactly.
enjoy it. Like he's like, I do not believe in guilty pleasures. He's like, there's no such thing.
I really want to branch. This is going to, sorry guys for a second, but
Trail.
yeah, I've wanted to branch off, and I probably should. I have enough time to like, I've really wanted to branch off into, more of like Irish and like jazz and like different styles of music.
Yeah.
Because I've learned over the years that pretty much what I listen to is like a combination of like all of these things. So I've just never given it a chance to just give it its own thing. I do not like classical. I don't mean like well, I guess that's a lie. I would, and like classic piano or classical piano.
You would probably be very particular about what you would choose.
Right. But I mean,
yeah.
Country is pretty much one of the only things I can't. I've tried. Again, there are certain songs.
I'm right there with you.
But I really need to branch off in what I listen to, because I've learned my taste in music has changed over the years. And I know that I'm probably going to be listening to a lot of the older things, not so much new things too.
Yeah.
And that's where I need people like TJ and stuff to, help me out with that, because music is such an inspiring thing. And like you said, it's yours. That's, again, why I listen to my headphones constantly.
Right.
It's mine. It's something that only, like you said, you can understand. So again, on a desert island, could you imagine all of your favorite music with however it is you like to relax, with cigars and all this stuff? Man, again, I don't think I would really be inside of my whatever it is that was there, to be honest, very much. Again, I say that now, but I just feel like having all of those things I want to listen to and be in my vibe and have around me and know that I'm safe. That's, oh my God, you can just let go.
I could not imagine what it's like to be on an island that's small enough that for a fact that nobody else is there, but big enough that you feel like you can get away.
That's what I mean. Like, you're safe.
Yeah.
You're safe, that you can just let go and just be. Could you fucking imagine?
Isn't it so fucked up that that's something that we have? We talked about this with debt before, but it's like, it's the same thing where it's like, why is that something that is so foreign? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't feel unsafe in this house. I don't feel unsafe in this house that I'm in, but I'm always aware. I'm always like, like my guard is always somewhat up, or at least in the past, like, I don't know, recent, amount of my life. I think it's like a year or two or whatever, that I've tried my best to be a little more hyper aware, but
it is sad. You're right.
Yeah. It's just,
and that's the thing, is that when you can do all of those things and have some of your, let's say, dare say, top 50 things that you could ever want forever. God damn, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You would just be able to be, no stress, no nothing. And I know that's everybody's dream, but man, the desert island thing doesn't sound so bad.
It doesn't.
I can eat seafood and coconut, and maybe there's just like a weird way there's an abundance of like chips and dip and steak. So I don't know.
Maybe that's what heaven's like, man.
Maybe it is. So
maybe. I would like to think that.
I would too, and maybe one day I'll get to see that.
Could be fun. Maybe not. Maybe we will. Who knows? But my last thing is, it's so dumb. It is so dumb, because I can literally do it anywhere, but I've only done it as far as like sleeping with this thing. Truly, I think 2 days out of my entire life. And I am so upset that I never did it more, and that I got rid of this thing.
A hammock?
A hammock.
I think that's kind of implied.
No, it's the hammock. That what I would do is that inside I would have a normal bed. I would have my, whether I would be like I can serve like room and I have a couch that pulls out
Yeah.
to a bed that's super comfortable.
But yes, out
or
there you'd have
a
the hammock.
futon.
Yeah.
Dude, I was at summer camp and we bought these hammocks, and I want to say they were something like $50, and it was like a true like net.
I remember it.
Yeah. Okay. You do. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I thought you still had it.
no, that thing got tangled and just got nasty because like it was outside for a little bit. It didn't work out. Like I want a hammock real bad. Like I that's one of the things I would love to do. We just don't really have anywhere that
No,
we can put
yeah,
it.
there isn't.
I want to form something that I can do that with. Like maybe I can put it up and take it down.
I
But
mean, yeah.
dude, it was probably, looking back, I took it for granted. It was one of the most peaceful moments of my life. And I remember
Oh yeah.
exactly where I was too. We were at a camp called Camp Manitowoc. It was the troop that I went to,
I've heard that.
the troop I was a part of. We always went to this camp for summer camp. It was like this big to do every
Yep.
year, Boy Scouts of America, and that was our thing. And I remember setting up my my hammock fairly close to the fire. Like it was like trees that were close, like it was nearby, so I wasn't like off the beaten path or anything. But I just remember when I finally got my fat ass into it, and like I finally realized, okay, now I stopped swinging, things are good, okay. And the wind came in, and I remember just opening my eyes and notice. I don't know if you can it's like that idea of like this, just very
that little sway, yeah.
so slightly, and it was kind of like the universe had me in its arms. And it was something that I have never experienced again. It makes me want to very much, but it's just a hammock, man. I want to have a hammock that can have a drink holder in it.
That's what I was saying. That's where you would be drinking your Yingling or your Corona.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, dude.
It's just that's
See, I'm saying that the desert island, that's already implied. That's there, man. You don't have to take that.
But mine would be special because it would be mine.
That would already be there, just like your house would be special.
I know.
That comes standard. That's Desert Island 101.
Fine. Then I want to bring beef jerky. Why? It's delicious. Next thing.
Thought we were only doing 5.
No, I was replacing that one. So since it's null and void, but no, it's what's your 5th thing?
Music.
But that was your 5th thing?
Yeah, because I said
I can't keep up. So.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure that was it, because it was the Breakfast Club, so like the movies, and then it was. Oh God, what did I say after that?
You said
it's Smokables.
Yes.
And then it was the PlayStation with all my stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I guess it was only music. So I guess that was 4.
Okay, so it's if you had a 5th thing.
Oh, I swear I had a 5th one.
If it's important, it will come back next time.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
We still had a good conversation, man. Everything's good. I was gonna say desert island stuff, but this was good. This was. I like being put into a corner where it's like, okay, how do I either deal with the corner or get myself out of it? It's like, it's I love that, that idea of just like, okay, so it's, you have the choice between, 10 different things that you can take, but we're only going to let you take 7 of them.
Yeah.
It's like we actually pitched doing that. And when I was in Boy Scouts, they were like, yeah, like we're thinking about doing a survival camp out where essentially you make tents out of plastic and you're allowed to bring a sleeping bag, but that's pretty much like the only thing you're allowed to bring.
Huh.
So it was that idea of that, okay, we're going to go ahead and lay out 10 different things, like maybe one is a tent. Maybe one is a sleeping bag. Maybe one is a camp stove. Maybe one is and be like, okay, now you can choose 7 of them. What do you think? Like maybe, hey, do you know if it's going to rain this weekend? You may not need a tent. You could just sleep out in nature. But if it does rain, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's that type of thing.
What do you risk? Like what's worth not taking?
I would probably, I need to stop hitting the mic. if I was going to be out in the middle of the wilderness, for sure, sleeping bag, without a doubt. I got to have some kind of safe solace
Whoa,
or whatever
yeah.
that I can, retreat to at the end of the day. It's, it's rest. It's the pause that refreshes, it's that type of thing. I'd go full hippie. I would go full hippie. I would just let my hair go if I was out in the middle of nature. And what I would do is that I would construct everything out of nature.
See, yeah,
But the sleeping bag, you can't make that in nature. So it's that type
that
of
is
thing.
true.
No, but it's like, I'd be that guy, that like, super long beard, super long hair. I live up in a tree house that I made. It's like, how did he do it? I don't know, man. He didn't have hammers and nails. He figured it out. Like, so like I'd already knock off like a bunch of those things, and it's like, I would just embrace it. I'd be like, you know what? All right, this is how things are going to be now. So I might like go back to my, primitive, status of what it was like to, for all my ancestors, it's like, being out in the middle of nature. So,
Because like, yeah, that again, that's just the beauty. Like you're right. I really wouldn't want to spend much time indoors.
no, and it's outdoors is so great, and we talk about them so much, and it's very, very rare that
we do it anymore.
that we do it. Because I'm sorry, but inside is great too.
It is, but still, go outside.
Yeah, get outside.
Get outside.
Go for a fucking walk or something.
Yeah,
like
do
it's-
something. For Pete's sake.
That's what George Carlin said. He's like, doesn't anybody just take a fucking walk anymore?
No,
No.
not really.
So either way, if you guys have listened this far, as always, we greatly appreciate it.
Obviously.
Make sure that you guys are following us on Spotify, as well as subscribing on YouTube, hitting the notification bell. That way you never miss an episode. And yeah,
Don't miss out.
Yeah, don't miss out on it. 2 episodes a week, especially The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler review that's going to be coming out as well. We'll give out a heads up on that. That may just be an extra episode here and there, but we'll see how it works out. But this has been a lot of fun. I love this Desert Island talk, but I know I got to pee. I'm pretty sure you got to pee. So
I'm getting there.
we'll go ahead and just end it right about. Nope. Starting over. You know why? I want to fade out properly. I have full control. I can do whatever I want. Look, we got an applause.
And you're just going all over.
Yeah. Multi-layers.
That one sound effect sounds like a Michael Myers movie.
Oh, yeah.
I always feel like he's gonna come up behind me.
All right, we're getting off here. Adios, guys.
Later.